What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and Minecraft 1.16.5 is finally released, and that means we're back for another XRAY mod tutorial. So every single update I show you guys how to download the XRAY mod and the XRAY resource pack. I'm going to be doing a separate video for the resource pack, and then I'm going to be conjoining both methods into one video a little later for you guys to watch as well. So this is the mod version. This is completely mod form. This is not the texture pack. So I'm going to show you how to download that first of all. As you can see, this is going to be linked in the description too, so you can actually get the download. And basically there's this guy that updates the very oldest XRAY mod on the Minecraft forum. This was originally for 1.6.4 and then they stopped updating it after 1.11. And this guy called Dromar Libanasur updates it every single time a Minecraft gets updated, and he does it really quickly. So basically, this is for 1.6.5 and it's tested on vanilla. Now, this doesn't work with Forge or Fabric. He is working on making it compatible, but if you want to use mods, you can't use this with Forge or Fabric. So when we click on the link, it will take you to a media file link. I'll try and link the media file link below so you don't have to go on the forum. And then we just click download. So obviously if you've played Minecraft, you'll have Java before, so there's no worries with that. Okay, so now we're in our downloads folder, as you can see. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to right click on the xray.jar that we just downloaded and press open with. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is press Java. You can also double click it, but for people who have problems with things like WinRAR, opening the jar file, that's the way you would fix that. As you can see over here, we have this XRAY launcher, which is the installer here. You can completely ignore these microphone signs on top of it. This is just something to do with my capture card. These won't be shown for you. But basically, select the version, which will be default 1.16.5, and press install. You can give it a custom profile name, but at this stage, it really doesn't matter. What matters is just getting it in game. So press OK, and it will install it literally within seconds. And then the next step is to go into the Minecraft launcher. So launch the normal Minecraft launcher, and it should have created a brand new profile in the launcher, which should be 1.16.5 XRAY, or it might have a different name if you renamed it. So all we have to do now is press play and tick the rules for understanding that this is a modded version of the game. Make sure before you run this that you've ran Minecraft 1.16.5 vanilla at least one time. This is super important because if you haven't even ran Minecraft 1.16.5, then the mod won't work at all, and it will actually crash as soon as you load it. So make sure before you run XRAY, you run Minecraft Vanilla 1.16.5 at least one time first from the launcher, just so it's downloaded and you know that it's working. And then we can go ahead and we can start a brand new world, and I'm going to show you how to use XRAY. Now usually I show everyone how to use it at least once when we drop in the world. And XRAY of course has a few different hotkeys which you're going to want to know about, which will control which blocks are showing, if you want to toggle XRAY, and so on. So when we first drop into a world, what should be happening is in the top left of your screen, you should be seeing a few different controls. Now the first one is obviously the FPS of which your game is running at, and then the second one is the XYZ values, which is basically the coordinates that show on the F3 menu. Then below it, it will show you if you're flying, which you can toggle as well. So let's now focus on the actual settings to actually configure this. So by default, if you press X, nothing will happen, which you'll be curious, why is it not working? Well, you want to go to options, controls, and scroll all the way to the bottom, and there should be an XRAY subheading. Now, by default, it will show you all the keys that you need to bind. So you can set which keys you want to actually be bindable. I'm just going to set some random keys so that I know it works, but you'll see that keys which are red means that other functions or other things in the game are already using these keys. So L is Fulbright and X is XRAY, but it's not working. So we're going to scroll up and we're going to find L. This is actually the advancements key. So I'm going to change that to something else just temporarily so we can actually use Fulbright mode. And hotbar activator loading is binded to X, which we need for XRAY. So I'm also going to change that to a random key. Or you can just press on it and press escape to actually remove the key. So now you'll see that they're not redded out in the XRAY subheading, which means that it should work. So I'm going to change the fly mode key, and I'd recommend putting fly speed to the plus key, which is also equals on your keyboard, and the minus key, because that's obvious when you want to change the speed, it makes sense. And then the fly key, you can set that to anything you want. So I'm going to press done, and now we can go into survival mode, because it really doesn't matter with X-Ray which mode you actually go into. So we're going to go into survival mode, and we're going to spawn ourselves a netherite pickaxe, because now we're actually in 1.16, and we will go into survival mode. And now if I press the mouse key, which I bind into fly mode just then, you'll see that now if I double tap space, I can fly just like in creative mode, but I'm not actually in creative mode. So obviously this cheat won't work on most servers that have anti-cheats, and you might even get kicked or banned for it. So be careful when using the X-Ray mod. I would recommend using the X-Ray resource pack if you want to be safer, but I'd even stress further just not to use X-Ray at all in multiplayer, because I don't use it on multiplayer and I think it kind of ruins the game a little bit. But sometimes I do mess around with it in single player and I find it pretty fun. So we can also press the plus on the keyboard or minus, and you'll see that the percentage of the speed next to fly is actually changing. So if I turn it right up, you'll see that even if I don't sprint, I'm actually moving a lot faster. And you can go all the way up to 500%, and then when you sprint, it will go super fast. So this is just pretty crazy. You can see the world's loading pretty fast because I have a decent PC. And we can even turn down this as well. Now you'll see I'm losing health because I have no hunger, because I've just sprinted with fly mode. It does kind of use the food just like walking or sprinting would in survival mode, because we're not in creative. And we can turn this all the way back down to 100% and then drop down. Now as you can see, we're going to turn off fly mode. Let's just eat some enchanted golden apples. Now, if we press L, this will activate full bright mode. You can't tell that full bright mode is on though. If we set the time to nighttime and we press L, now you'll see full bright mode works, because basically full bright mode will simulate how the daytime lighting is in game even at nighttime, so you can see where you're going, and also you can see in caves when you're not using torches, which is probably the best upside of the X-Ray mod. So we can leave full bright mode on, and if we press C, C is the cave finder. So in X-Ray, C will actually draw all of the blocks and hide all of the blocks that are covering all of the cave systems. So basically what this will do is it will filter the blocks which it shows as just showing stone, lava, and anything which is part of a cave, like a chest for an example. So it will show you chests, mob spawners inside dungeons, stone, and all of the mobs below, but it won't show you dirt, grass, or anything else which actually covers it, which also includes the ores. So that's what C does. And then if we press V, just like with Optifine, this will actually zoom in. So we have a new zoom system, which is pretty cool. This is also a great thing about the mod. You can hold V and use it to see which ores are in the distance, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So next up is X. This is what everyone's been waiting for. This is probably why you're watching the video. This is the main X-Ray function. So when we press X, X-Ray will draw all of the ores underground, and it will hide all of the surface blocks like grass and dirt. And it will show some things like water and lava as well, and all the mobs we can see underground. So that's pretty cool. And if we hold V, we can see over here there's a dungeon along with some diamonds. So if we're looking for some nice ores and maybe a little dungeon to raid, it's just as easy as that, and we found it. So that's how to use X-Ray mode. And now we can just go down and mine some ores. And one thing about the X-Ray mod is it's actually customizable. Some people may be wondering, what if I only want to show half of these ores? Or what if I only want to show iron ore? For an example, some people may argue that X-Ray ruins the fun, and also it takes away all of the opportunities from people playing legit of getting diamonds. Maybe you want to use it on multiplayer, but you want to be quite good and not take all the diamonds. Or maybe you want to just use it to only find iron ore and redstone, for an example. Well, you can do that, and if you press the J key, which I'm just going to show you now, then it will actually show a submenu. So press J on the keyboard and it will show this new X-Ray menu, and we can customize not only X-Ray. For an example, we can turn on and off in this menu. We can mess around with the zoom key and the coordinates. If we press enable coordinates, it will hide and show them. And we can change which blocks are shown in the X-Ray mode, and this is all on this list below. So as you can see, as we scroll down, we can see all these blocks which are actually filtered in the X-Ray mode. So anything which is ticked is shown in X-Ray mode. Anything that's unticked, like grass and grass blocks, are hidden completely in X-Ray mode. So if we ticked grass, for an example, and then went back into X-Ray mode, you would see these grass blocks above us. So we could also show grass blocks, which kind of ruins the whole X-Ray purpose, because if you're above ground, then you can't see the ores below. That's how you customize X-Ray. You can also customize Cave Finder, so you could actually draw different ores on the Cave Finder. So if I go out of X-Ray and into Cave Finder, if we look around, you can see there's no ores, okay? We could obviously find a very common ore, for an example, like iron, and we could tick that, And then when we go on the cave finder, the iron ore is actually showing now 2 in the caves as well. So that's how you customize it, by pressing the J key. And then after that, C is cave finder, X is X-ray, and L is full bright mode, which lets you actually illuminate your path in caves without the use of torches. So this has been how to install the XRAY 1.16.5 mod for the very newest update. I wanted to get this out quickly so people could actually mess around with this. Like I said, be careful where you use this, guys. You might get banned off servers or kicked if they have an anti-cheat or if it's a really popular server. And on some servers, you may think that you can use it, but they might have a plugin which actually messes with the mod itself. There's a lot of servers where if you go on, in X-ray mode, you might see coal ore, but when you actually mine it, it might just be stone. So there's a lot of server plugins which trick you and try to make your X-ray break, and there's a lot of ones which just completely don't allow it and kick you too. So these are the reasons why I don't use it in multiplayer, and also it ruins people's fun. But if you're one of the people who wants to use it on your friend's server just to find ores and waste less time playing Minecraft all day, then by all means that's your choice, but just be careful because you may get banned or kicked, and also it may not work on some of the more popular servers. Okay guys, so I've shown you how to install the XRAY mod for Minecraft 1.16.5, but what if you actually want to install the XRAY resource pack, which is now arguably just as good as the mod method. The only difference is turning it on and off is a little bit slower, but now it's basically just as good but a little less customizable. So basically this is the safer version of XRAY if you want to use this online, and also you won't have to install any mods, and you can still use the resource pack when you're using Optifine, which is what you actually need to download to get the best function out of it. So first of all, what we're going to go ahead and do is, obviously Optifine will be linked down below, and so will the resource pack be. We want to download Optifine. So just click on download or mirror on Optifine 1.16.5, which will be linked below. If you can't find it, click on downloads and the latest version should be there. So press keep. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and download XRAY Ultimate. So press download because the latest version is 1.16.5 and it should download XRAY Ultimate. Now one thing that is super important, okay, if you want to see hidden ores in XRAY Ultimate or any other XRAY resource pack for that matter, you need to install Optifine. There's only 2 ways to do this. You need a night vision potion, which is going to be annoying to brew and craft, or you need Optifine to actually see the shadowed areas and the hidden ores. So this is super important. If you don't have Optifine, or if you don't use some kind of night vision potion, then it's just going to completely break the resource pack. And when you use it, you'll be able to see ores, but it's just not going to work how you want it to be. So make sure to follow every step very carefully. Okay, so to install Optifine, we just want to right click on this Optifine jar and click open with Java, and this will open up the Optifine installer. Now click install. It should install it right into your Minecraft directory by default, and then it'll say successfully installed. So now what we can go ahead and do is close this launcher by default and then go into your .minecraft folder. Most people should be aware how to go to .minecraft by now. You just type in %app data and go into .minecraft, and then we want to go into the resource packs folder. So we're going to copy the XRAY Ultimate zip into the resource packs folder here, and then it should be installed, and we've already got Optifine installed too. So the next step would be to go into the Minecraft launcher, and if you already had it open when you installed Optifine, close it and reopen it, and then we have Optifine 1.16.5. So now just go ahead and load that in the launcher, and then we can get everything loaded up, and I'm going to show you how to use the resource pack. Okay, so this is super important, okay? So we're going to go into game first before we toggle the resource pack. And these are going to be the steps of when you use Optifine. So if you want to know if Optifine's working, in the top left, you should have a few different things here, like the FPS, the coordinates, things like that. Basically, the exact same things which actually show when you use the XRAY mod as well are very similar to the things which show up when you use Optifine. So I'm just going to fly out of this area that I'm stuck in right now because I'm stuck in the deep dark depths, and I'm just going to make this daytime just to make it easier for ourselves. So one thing we need to go ahead and do is, if you're on Optifine, go to options, video settings, and smooth lighting needs to be turned off. This is important. If you haven't got XRAY, if you haven't got any kind of XRAY mod or resource pack, you don't need to do this. In fact, smooth lighting is actually quite nice to have on as an effect, especially when you actually use shaders. But for the purpose of this, turn it completely off so we can fix the shadow problem and all the ores being hidden. So once you've turned off smooth lighting, go to resource packs and go ahead and find the XRAY one we've just installed. So it should be XRAY Ultimate and then just press the arrow across so that we can use it. Now that we've downloaded it, just press done and it should load the X-Ray resource pack, and that's literally all we do from there, guys. So now what we can go ahead and do is we can actually see through the ground. Now obviously the only downside of using an X-Ray resource pack is you're not going to be able to see as far in the distance as the X-Ray mod, because the mod just makes it work better, but you can actually see most things, okay? And obviously if we mine all the way down, it's a lot easier to actually see things because the blocks are quite invisible from below and they only have a little border on them. So you can see this is what everything looks like. And if we just mine through here, we can see we have iron here. So we can see all the ores. Like I said before, the only problem is certain ores you won't be able to see from a certain distance, which can become a little bit annoying. But as long as smooth lighting is turned off and smooth lighting level is off, you should be able to see all of the ores in the distance. Now if we go ahead and we turn smooth lighting on and turn it to the maximum, and we go above onto the top ground, then you may notice that in the distance things will be a little more shadowed. Right now there's not really too much clarity in seeing that, unless you look really far in the distance where some of the ores are actually black. But for the most part, it's going to make everything look a lot better and it just needs to be turned off. So that's how to install the resource pack. That's the X-Ray Ultimate Resource Pack for Minecraft 1.16.5. Make sure to follow all these steps to get it working exactly how you want it to, because if you don't do this, then you're going to have some problems with it. Like I said, the render distance of the blocks will be dependent on multiple things. So the render distance of how many chunks that you're loading on the render distance value. I'm on pretty high right now. I'm on 30 chunks. Obviously most people will probably be on like 10 to 14 or 15 if you've got a slower PC, but the chunks for the render distance will determine how far you can see ores and the angle at which you are when you're mining underground, because if you look in different directions, sometimes you can see different objects and then they get hidden, as you can see in the right hand of my screen like that. So obviously you're not going to be able to see 100 miles away, but you can see there are some diamonds down here near my crosshair, so it's definitely helping. I would recommend the mod to be a lot better, but this is a safer method to use on servers if you're one of those people that decides to use it online, which I wouldn't recommend. So make sure to check out the link in the description for the download of both Optifine and the X-Ray resource pack, so you can learn where to download it and then follow the steps in the video to install it. So make sure to like the video if it was helpful. The downloads will be in the links below, and also subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and follow me over on Instagram at thebluecrusader for some more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.